We are loud, obnoxious, and completely inappropriate. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of the Coffee Mug Show. And my name is Leonard, and this morning I am joined by Derek and Mark.
Hey,
And
how's
this
it
morning,
going?
sorry, go
How's it
ahead.
Good morning. What? And I can't do that. That's copyright.
Yeah. Well, you can change it a bit, then you'll be fine.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I don't want to get sued on our first live broadcast. Okay.
Yeah, good point. So we are living in Twitch this morning. This is a test record just to make sure that everything's okay. This is not the official broadcast, our live broadcast, but it's going to be a test. So hopefully our live broadcast will be the next, I think, our 10th episode or something, but we're still having technical stuff that we need to go through. So this morning we decided to take it a little easy topics because it's been a little hot week, and we just want to make sure that we cool off this week before we ramp up again next week. So our first topic today is books versus audiobooks. If you listen to an audiobook, is it the same thing as reading, or is it considered cheating? Any
Well,
thoughts?
we're 30 seconds behind.
Well, thanks.
No. I'm just as our test. I got our Twitch stream up on here on screen as well, and it's kind of weird because it's like a broadcast. We're 36. We're 30. What we're saying here now is 30 seconds behind what we see in Twitch. So it's like watching a live hockey game online, and another group of people watching it on TV. You hear them yelling and screaming that they scored, and I'm still waiting for the results on online here.
So you have a 30-second delay, Leonard. If Mark says anything you want to cut off, just
Exactly. It's called censorship.
Censorship, yeah.
So what do you guys think about the topic? Our first topic.
Well, let me ask
I don't
Mark.
read much.
You actually listen? Have you ever listened to an audiobook?
When I was a kid.
Okay, we know what Mark's position is going to be on this.
When I was a kid.
I'll take that as a no.
Yeah, I'll take that as a no too.
No, you know what? No, like, is it cheating? Is it the same? Guess what? It is the same. You just got somebody reading the book to you. I mean, in elementary school, I had one teacher who would read a novel to us. Part of our English course, she would read it out loud to all of us. And then I would go and read my own books. And then if I'm too lazy to read and I just wanna hear it while I'm driving, yeah, throw on an audiobook. Is it cheating? No, because you're getting the same content. Content doesn't change.
How about you, Derek?
Well, as I drink out of my butterbeer mug here from Harry Potter, which
Oh, by the way, how was that? Let's go back to that after this topic. I want to hear about that.
So, I love audiobooks. For myself personally, I have some eye problems, and it's hard for me to focus on reading for an extended period of time in an actual book. So I think the experience is different. When you're reading the book yourself, you go at your pace, and you understand things in a certain way, but when you listen to it, it's a different way of processing the information. For me personally, I can shred through an audiobook in a day. I can listen to it at high speed and so forth because I'm just able to process it that quickly. So I can actually finish a book a lot quicker via an audiobook versus just reading it myself. It would take me a week or so to finish a book. It's kind of crazy just reading it every day. But with an audiobook, you also get the additional layer of listening to somebody narrate it. And depending on the person who's narrating it, can actually really impact your experience of the book. Some people who do inflections and not so much voices, but they kind of tailor the voice to each character of the book. Let me give you an example. Ready Player One, Will Wheaton read that one, and he loved
Oh,
the
no
book.
way.
And it was he really enjoyed it. It really was a great way to listen to the book. I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if I just read it myself. Listening to how he enjoyed it. In fact, he's even referenced in the book, which is kind of funny because originally when I had heard it, I thought, did he plug himself in there or is he actually in the book? Which was kind of cool.
Apparently, he's been doing a lot of audiobooks, reading a lot because, well, he actually enjoys it. So it's pretty cool.
It is. But, when it comes to audiobooks, there's a couple other points to make is that, for people who are blind, or visually impaired, they can really enjoy those books a lot more, especially for schoolwork. There's an entire division of the Canadian National Institute for the Blind that actually does audio recordings for people who are blind and visually impaired. And these are volunteers that come in and they read these books. They put them on audiobooks, textbooks, and things to that effect to help students in learning. So there's a lot of benefits to it.
No, I agree. For me, because I could do commute to work, and for me to listen to audiobooks is the best way to go through a book faster than me reading. Because when I read a book, I have a tendency to, well, when you walk between trains and a bus and a subway, you do need to stop reading. But if you're listening to an audiobook, it's so much more continuous, and it doesn't break the way you read. Because for me, when you read a book or a chapter, you have to stop halfway. Next thing you know, you got to go back to it again, and sometimes you do have to go back a couple of pages. You just catch up. At least in the audiobooks, you can do a full chapter without stopping, right? And you can get the full story. It's to be honest with you, it's a great way to travel, especially commuting. I do love the physical book. I don't consider it cheating. It's just, as Mark said, it's the same content, but the only difference is just the medium of telling the story, right?
I mean, there is the downside to it, keeping your reading skills sharp and so forth. I mean, as adults, that's not as significant, but obviously, it's a good idea to keep that ability to read in an effective and quick way as sharp as possible. But Mark, do you read a lot at all, or?
You know what? I did, and I want to get back into it. But I'm just been too caught up in Skyrim, so I don't have much time for that. Yeah, I finally was able to. I know Skyrim's been out for a long time already, but it's just now that I've actually been able to sit down and really delve into it. So yeah, I have not much, don't have much time for reading, but I do love reading a good book. The last time I read a book in a day was when Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out. I actually read that book in 24 hours. I didn't sleep. I just kept on reading it.
Wow.
In regards to reading on subways, I love reading on the subway. Actually, I prefer reading the book itself than having an audiobook. Yeah, I know I do have to stop when I have to change trains and everything like that, but I don't know, there's something about me just diving into the book and just forgetting about everybody who's around me, and I can just read it. So it's a distraction. But yeah, I mean, if there's another book that comes out, I'm a big Tom Clancy fan.
Yeah, same here.
And then I am a Potterhead. I read pretty much all the Star Wars extended universe books before it became Legends. So yeah, I have my little niche when it comes to reading. So but yeah, if you guys can recommend a good book for me to read, I'll definitely look into it.
Well, if that's the case, if you are looking for something like a series, Expedition Force is really, really good. It's a 6-series book, but it's also an audiobook, and it's is
it what, sci-fi?
It's sci-fi. It's more modern day sci-fi, so you get the same year, for example. The only difference is one of the main characters is the best way to describe it is he's a smart, very smart, very, very old AI with an asshole personality.
How?
it will like the whole book, the whole time when he announced that he's talking to human beings or he's talking about humans overall, he
Mhm.
will literally blatantly call them stupid monkeys the whole time, and it's actually very comedic. To be honest with you, it's a very very good read and or listen to the audiobook itself.
I'd also recommend The Expanse. I'm a huge fan of the
Yes.
show. The books are great. There is a TV show. There's been 3 seasons of it. Not a lot of people have heard of the show because it's been on Sci-Fi and they had very restrictive rights to it in
Mhm.
regards to streaming. But Amazon has picked it up for season 4 because for some reason Sci-Fi canceled it. It's sort
Yeah.
of like that old Firefly piece where Fox canceled Firefly, and everybody was like, "What are you doing?" It's like the one of the best science fiction shows I've seen in 10 years. It really is great.
Well, I mean, I don't
Um,
Yeah,
know. I mean, Fox does the same thing. I mean, they canceled out Brooklyn Nine-Nine, one of their strongest shows, and then with what people did, like the viewers did, they stood behind the show, and NBC picked it up again. But Fox has a habit of doing that. So,
yeah,
well, it's Fox.
it is
well, I
funny.
don't know. Well, now Fox is don't forget Fox is owned by Disney now, right? So,
Really, and that's how they think.
well, Fox, yeah, Disney bought Fox Media, I believe. It's just the
Okay.
media side of Fox that they bought.
Yeah,
So,
Okay.
guess what? We might see a crossover soon of X-Men and the MCU. So,
Okay.
um,
So, so in other words, listening to an audiobook versus reading a book is not considered cheating then.
now it's personal preference. You know,
I think people would really enjoy. Some people really love the tactile sensation of holding the book and reading it and falling asleep with it, whatever. And I think that that's a wonderful experience. It comes down to personal preference. It comes down to sometimes circumstances when, you need to be alert or watching where you're going. You can walk and listen to an audiobook at the same time, right? So you can
Mhm.
have the efficiency of walking and listening at the same time and enjoying the book while you're moving around, or just sitting down and reading the book. Plus, if you have headphones on and so forth, people might be think you're listening to music, so it's a lot easier to have that immersive experience, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I
I agree.
mean, like put it this way, I prefer having the actual book in my hand. I had an e-reader and I have my tablets, but I still prefer the actual book in my hand, like turning the pages, having that weight of the book, marking the pages. I don't know. I feel more that's more suited
You
to me.
very old fashioned, very analog. No, I'm not. I'm not joking. I'm not teasing you here. Personally, I prefer having a physical book. It feels more. It feels like, to be honest, in today's era, it feels like that if you read a book, you feel like one of those intellectuals or one of those hipsters just walking around with a book and
Mhm.
reading it instead of reading it through a tablet or to your phone. And to be honest with you, I kind of like that special club of one of those people who just reads books, like physical books.
Well, then again, I also want to have the book because if I'm reading on a tablet or an e-reader and the battery dies on me and I'm at a crucial point in that book, I'm gonna be pissed. It's like watching a TV show and they put it red into commercial, right? So,
Oh, I agree. I agree. When I backpacked a few years ago, I decided to bring an e-reader, and I was gone for a month. And the second week of my trip, my tablet actually died on me, and I had
mhm.
like 3 books that I was planning to read in the whole trip. So I had to physically go to a bookshop and actually bought the physical book and finishing it. I was so annoyed. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be minimalist when I travel, but that was a big fail.
Take solar panels next time.
No, the whole
No,
thing actually physically died. So I charged it, it just will not work.
your tablet broke basically. So,
It broke. Yeah. Yeah. It was
yeah.
my like the third e-reader I had like in 2 years.
Yeah, like I mean, again, it's like, yeah, you got to deal with the weight and the bulkiness of a book, but it's always there, right? So,
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. You know what? If I'm on a long drive and I want to listen to something and not the radio, yeah, I'll throw in an audiobook, and I want to try to experiencing that driving and listening to the experience uh and having an audiobook. But I don't know how much I'll be able to take while if I'm driving and trying to keep concentrating on the road. But
Yeah.
so
Okay,
so
so let's move along. We're gonna keep going with this test broadcast because we officially have 4 viewers. I know 2 of them is us. So,
So for the other 2 people, welcome.
yeah,
Whoever
so
you
if you
are.
are watching, if you want to go ahead and chat with us, I think the chat room is open. Go ahead and say hi. It'll be awesome, and let us know what it looks like. If what would we need to tweak for the next broadcast. So
my lighting,
yes, lighting.
my lighting.
So before we go to the next topic, so Derek, you went to a Harry Potter escape room last weekend. How was it?
I did, yeah. It was interesting. It was well done for what it was. I've gone to this is the second escape room I've ever gone to. I'm not a huge escape room person. I do enjoy the mental exercise of trying to figure out puzzles, although it can be kind of infuriating at times. And when the woman ushered us in, she gave me a walkie-talkie, which is a little different than the first time where you had to, knock on the wall or something. The first room I went to was very bad. It was sort of like an insane asylum kind of thing, and you were all locked in a very, very small room together. And I didn't really like the experience. So when I went and did this, I had a lot more hope and joy for it, and it was a good experience. I won't say which one it is because that could impact their money, because I'm going to talk sort of about what they did in the room. And the puzzles are great. They had the 9 3/4 platform, but what they did, what was interesting, was they had a series of rooms that you had to get into. And they had, for the quote unquote magic aspect, they had a weighted door. So at the end of a hall, there was a mural, and you had to unlock all of these wands to be able to unlock the mural. And by putting them on, some weights released the latches for the door, which allowed you to slide the wall over, which was really good. And then in the last room, when you had to figure out a puzzle, you actually had to stand on pressure plates, which you didn't know they were pressure plates, to unlock it. So I was really happy with the quality they put into it, the thought they put into it to put, quote unquote, a little magic into it as well. So yeah, I was pretty happy about it.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so would you go back there again, or would you recommend this place?
I would recommend the place. I think that they seemed like they put a lot of effort into it. There were a couple other things there that you could have done. I don't know exactly what they were. The place is fairly busy. It was also fairly large. So again, I had several rooms we had to go into, which is, I find, a lot better of an experience than just being in a single room. So you need to go from one room and unlock a door and go into a next room, and that kind of motivates you forward because you want to see what's in the next room, right?
Oh, cool. So the chat room is officially open. So if you have any questions regarding the Harry Potter thing, please feel free to leave your comments there. We'll try to get you the information if Derek is logged in. But yeah, so pretty
I don't
good.
think they want to know now. I just told them everything that happens.
Well, you didn't tell us where it is, how far it is from Toronto. All got it good. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so our
Far away
next.
from me.
I'm sorry.
It's about an hour away from me.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so our next topic is so when you guys travel, what device do you guys bring with you guys, and why? So do you guys bring your laptop, tablets, phones, cameras, everything?
Depends where I'm going.
Okay, let's say you're just
Right
going
on.
to a trip for the weekend with your family.
Tablets and phones.
No laptops?
Not for a weekend trip.
Well, for a week as well. Do you bring a laptop for a week? Where you're gone for a week?
Yes, I will bring a laptop. just because that has some things for the kids to do, as well if I need to do anything. Well, sorry, you know what? Let me backtrack. When I was working in an office, yes, I would always bring a laptop wherever I went, from it being a weekend trip to a 1 week trip. Now I haven't gone on a vacation in a while. I probably wouldn't bring a laptop anymore, just
Yeah.
because of the change of my careers.
Okay. And how many tablets do you bring with you? Do you normally bring, like, I know you got a couple. How
Uh,
many do you bring?
one, two or three.
Yeah, but is that with you having your entire family in tow, or is
Well,
that
see that.
just
Well, that's the thing. If it's the entire family in tow, it'll be like 2 or 3 tablets, and then all our phones. Um, if it's just, if it's not the whole family, maybe just one tablet. So it all depends upon how many people are going.
Derek?
I'm actually quite a minimalist when I travel. I'll take my phone and that's about it. Maybe a tablet if I really have a need, and usually for me that'll be, I want to have some entertainment, or I expect that I won't be able to, like, go on a plane and you won't be able to have your ability to watch something. For me, I like to have a larger screen size when I do that. But overall, I never travel ever with a laptop if I absolutely can get away with it. Maybe a tablet, but I just prefer my phone because I'll just put videos or movies or whatever on my phone and I can watch it like that pretty comfortably because I do that in general day to day. So yeah,
Yeah,
like when I travel, I only travel with a backpack. Like even if I'm going on a week trip, I go with a backpack. Why? Because if you're going on a plane or something, you don't have to check a bag, and I have a pretty awesome bag for that too.
yeah. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as well too. I only bring my tablet and my camera because again, I'm a photographer, so I do have to bring a camera with me. But more and more I'm sort of leaving my camera behind now because the phones are getting a lot better for taking image or still image. But plus on top of that too, I'm sort of experimenting with just shooting with a phone because the phones now are much where they're pretty close to a full blown like professional cameras that I'm using. So I like doing experiments with that, and it's working out really well. And the same thing as you, Derek. I'm very minimalist when I travel, and I try not to bring as much stuff. The last time I went to a trip, a weekend in New York, I just put everything in one tiny, I think it was a 10-liter bag, and had everything in there for like 4 days. So, and I prefer not to bring too many things when I travel as well. So, like even the first topic we talked about regarding audiobooks versus books and the e-reader thing, I prefer reading it on a tablet. But unfortunately, if the tablet does break, you do have to bring books, and now you have to bring that books back home, right? But yeah. So d- when
Go
you guys
ahead,
travel,
go on, you can do it.
so when you do travel, do you guys try not to bring too much technology with you, or just the essential? It sounds like you only bring the essential stuff. You guys are
I
not one of those one of those travel warriors will bring everything with them.
Like I said, I used to bring everything with me, but that was because of the type of job I had. Like, yeah, even though I'm on vacation, I'm not on vacation. Um, but now, like I said, I mean, I've changed careers, and I just have to bring the, whatever, just the bare necessities to keep my sanity.
Oh, here's a good question. How about camping?
Ooh,
How
camp.
much tech do you guys bring with you?
Oh, I only
Or
bring my
you
phone.
have a very strict rule, no tech.
No, we bring our phones.
Wait, is that your rule, Leonard?
No, I'm asking for all of you guys.
No, well, see, like I said,
I figure if you're gonna go camping, you want to have that experience. Obviously, we're a connected world and so forth. So I do bring my cell phone when we go camping. However, I will say that I make effort not to use it while we're camping, because the whole purpose of going camping is to enjoy nature, is to have that experience. I do have connection, a connection issue where I'm losing that connection. So I still have to have it on me. I usually will leave it in the tent or something, perhaps, although I won't leave it in the tent for a long period of time. You don't want somebody rummaging through your tent. But yeah, I think if you're going camping and you're taking laptops and so forth, you're not camping.
No, you're not. When I go camping and I take the family camping, it's a time for us to really disconnect. Yes, we have our phones to take the pictures, we also have it for our music. And then also for emergencies, because we go, when we do go camping, you have to be staying connected even though we're in a provincial park, it's good to be connected, but it's a time for us to to get disconnected. But we do bring it for, taking pictures and some music and for some lighting as well. But that's about it.
Good point. Yeah, that's good. I would agree completely with that. Yeah, music and so forth.
Yeah, for me, I have a very strict rule that when I go camping, I normally leave my phone in a car.
When do you ever go camping?
I go camping twice a year, three times a year.
Derek, does he ever invite you to go camping?
He goes camping with him. Dude.
Oh, you guys are harassing it. Thanks a lot. Now I see how it is. All right. Okay.
Well, when you go camping, you don't tell me. You tell me last minute. Next thing you know, I'm like, dude.
I told you in January I'm going camping July 19th to the 22nd. So you can't tell me I didn't tell you.
Okay, where are you going then? Let me ask you.
Big Bass Lake Provincial Park.
Okay. All right. That's good. I'm a McGregor fan. I like that. Yeah.
I'm a Pinery kind of guy.
Yeah, he wants a luxury.
Yes.
Yeah.
Glamping.
He wants to go glamping.
Glamping. Yeah. Well, have you seen his tent? The thing's a fortress.
Well,
it's like 16 by 8 or something.
Well,
I like to stand up when I change clothes.
Well, yeah.
I forgot how tall it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have that issue. I'm like, how much taller than you, Donnie? Leonard?
Well, we're talking about me here. Okay.
Well, I have
stretching when I changed. I don't I've done the small tent camping thing and I hated it. So I paid the extra to upgrade to something bigger.
Okay. Well, I do have an 8-person tent, and yes, it does stand up it's a 6-foot 110, so I actually can fit in it and stand up in it. But I got a lot of people to sleep, so. Actually, there's a new tent that I want to get. There's a tent from Coleman I want to get, the WeatherTech tent, and it's like an actual cabin tent that can fit up to 8 to 10 people.
I've seen that. It's actually a good tent. I was looking at getting a tent that actually has the inflatable beams on them with just air. They're really expensive, but the weird thing is that the great tents seem to be made in Europe. Like the really good quality tents seem to make in Europe. And the one question I can't actually answer is, why don't they sell the tents here in Canada? Because Coleman actually makes a tent in the UK as well that is similar to the tents there. And so my thought process is, because we have such a humid environment, are those tents not good enough to be in a human environment that we're in versus the tents that Coleman generally produces here in Canada or North America? I mean,
it could also be safety standards as well.
Right?
Like, I mean, just because they make stuff in Europe and they can't sell it here, sometimes it all has to do with safety standards.
See, I wonder about that too, but I couldn't think of any safety standard that would really be applicable via North America versus Europe. Obviously, Europe is generally not as humid in general, and the ventilation in those tents is not as significant as a general pitch tent we have here in North America, right?
Yeah, that could be true. It could, like I said, it could also be the materials that they use, right?
Yeah. Well, put it this way: my tent came from REI. I had to drive all the way to Pennsylvania to grab it because they don't have the tent that I'm looking for here in Canada.
What tent
is
that?
And all the tents, it's the REI Dome 6, I think. It's a 6-person tent. So I think they don't make them anymore.
Why do you need a 6-person tent? There's only 2 of you.
I have.
And your girlfriend is like smaller than you, Leonard, and you're already small.
Well, I need to fit a double, hopefully a queen size bed for now soon.
Can you hear this?
A
Oh my
living
God.
area, a change area. You
A
know, it's like,
change
come on.
Oh my God, you really are glamping. Holy crap.
I like to be in nature comfortably.
Oh, then definitely you're not coming camping with me, man. You're not like there are times when we go camping and it's like, okay, how many days we're out there? All right, we just take a shower before we leave and take a shower when we get home. That's how we go camping.
Hey, I shower every night.
Oh my God. Oh my God, man. Holy
Well,
shit.
when you do camping, do you guys normally get a power plug for your tech stuff, or no?
No,
we
no.
take
We
a cell
bring-
phone and we
no, no,
don't
no.
use it.
No,
However, I
have to ask.
I do take a power bank just for safety, as Mark was saying. So I do have a power bank with me to charge it, just for safety and all that.
we do get electrical sites for the electrical fans. We bring fans with us.
Fans.
Yeah, and one of our buddies.
But to be fair to you, how many people in the tent versus Leonard here? I mean,
Okay, Leonard, here's the thing. I got 2 double air mattresses in my tent. And in between, we have a sleeping bag, right? And then at the foot of those beds, we have 2 more sleeping bags where people sleep. Plus, we still have all our gear in it. And most of the major stuff, like major big stuff that we have, stays in the truck or in the van. Other than that, we have power, to for our electrical fans, and yes, to charge up our phones, because again, we like taking pictures when we go camping and we play our music on our phones, so our batteries do die. And you know me, I always want to have a full charge on my phone every day just because I'm that anal for emergencies. But yeah, but you having a living area, dude. Oh my God, it's like,
It's comfortable.
okay, now you know what the tent that you should get? Speaking of Coleman, I was at Costco yesterday and they had one left at the Costco. For $165, you can get an 8-person tent from Coleman. Which is
Surprisingly, I did almost buy the 8-person tent version of my tent, but I couldn't fit it in my car because my car was already full.
okay, if you can't fit it in the car, you can't pitch it on the site because it'll take up the whole darn site.
holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Listen, those fans that you use, are those sort of cheap Coleman ones, or are they the actual fan that you have?
I actually have like my actual fan from home. I bring them, and actually I have one small Sunbeam, like the little mini turbo fans. I bring that for the other tent. Yes, sometimes I have to bring 2 tents.
I'm surprised that you're not camping with 2 tents.
Well, we do try to bring as minimal as. Trust me, when it's only you who's putting up both tents, you gotta bring one. That's much.
Oh, wait,
teach
yours
the
is
kids.
yours is an 8-person tent, right, Mark? But
Yeah.
there's 7 people who are living in the thing.
Yeah. So, and then you put all our gear in there, and like I said, all like everything. So
Let me put this out as well. You have daughters, so Leonard has the living area, and you have 5 daughters.
yeah,
And they don't need a living area in there. They deal with it.
they deal with it. Yes, like this is
I'm
camping.
dealing with 2.
Oh my. Derek, you've been camping with him, so I don't know. Like,
Hey,
Oh,
I
and
cook
also-
my food on fire.
yeah, actually, what I picked up for this year, we finally picked up a Woods propane stove.
I have one.
5,500
use.
BT. Is 2,500 or? I think mine's 2,500 BTUs. And then what I've done, I've also bought the cable, the hose to connect it to a full propane tank.
Yeah,
Instead
that'll
of-
work out real well. I mean, you're cooking for a lot of people.
Well, when we go camping, it's not just us. Like, I mean, when we go camping, we go with a group of friends as well. So it ends up there's like about 20, 25 of us, adults and kids, going all together. So we cook at one site, has all the cooking, pretty much, and then we have our own sites where we cook our own breakfasts. But we get that. I also picked up, because at Canadian Tire they were going on clearance, the rechargeable LED lights. Now.
Yeah.
So great. For $10, you get a strip. You plug it in, and it actually it's plugged into just a regular portable battery charger like that you have for your phones, and it's great. It's nice and bright. We don't have to fumble anymore. And then next year, I don't know. Next year, I'll probably pick up a couple of more things for camping.
Well, right now for light wise, I use a headlamp. It makes life a lot easier that way rather than using just flashlights, regular flashlights.
Oh no, we
So,
have headlamps, we have flashlights. But in the actual main tent itself, to make it easier, I got these LED lights. So I got one strip for one tent and another strip for another tent. So you just turn it on, and no more fumbling. There's no more fumbling trying to find that headlamp or trying to find that flashlight when in the middle of the night. So
nice. Okay. So let's keep going here. This is the best one so far for today's topic. Restaurants. Everyone eats. Do you guys leave online reviews and why? And also, before you guys answer, do you guys look at other online reviews like Yelp, Google, OpenTable? Do you guys read that review before you guys go to a restaurant? Or you just go straight to that restaurant and said, screw your review. I don't like your review. I'm just going to go try it out myself. Are you guys that daring?
no, I don't leave reviews, and I should, because a lot of people have already told me I should have started a food blog long time ago. Even you, Leonard, you told me to start a food blog. If nobody really knows, if you guys really want to know, I'm a foodie. Like I love food and I love to try new places. But yes, I do not leave reviews. Do I read other reviews? Yes, I do sometimes, but not always. I like to go into a restaurant that I have never eaten at and experience it for myself, and not try to be influenced by what other people have said about it.
Okay. Okay, how about you, Derek?
I don't leave reviews, generally speaking. I think that when we were talking about looking at a review online, I do sometimes might look at a review, but I take it with very much a grain of salt. And there's a couple reasons for that. First is that you don't know the intentions of the person that's leaving it. Maybe that's an employee of the restaurant who's leaving the review. Maybe that's the son of the owner who's leaving the review. So you actually don't know the context of the review. Poor reviews, maybe they had a bad waiter or something, so they give it a poor review, right? But maybe that wasn't because it really actually had bad food or something in it, right? So I give it very much a grain of salt. I tend to look at it. Usually I'll rely more on friends and family to give me advice as to whether it's a good restaurant or not to go to.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Derek.
Yeah, I do the same thing too. For example, if I if I go to a restaurant, the first thing I'll do is I look at it, I look at reviews. What I do is I actually look at the latest bad review. And actually I read all the bad reviews first before the good reviews. The reason why I do that is I'm very curious what was the review about. Like, for example, if the review is hey, my food was good but my service was bad, and I'll give you 2 out of 5 stars, fine, whatever. If they said the service is amazing, food is awful, I give it 5 out of 5. Well, it sort of doesn't really compare.
Mhm.
And or if the review is the food is good, service is amazing, but they forgot to give me my fork, I'm gonna give it 1 out of 5 star. So those kind of things, because I see
Wow.
that they give bad reviews because the server forgot to give them water. Those kind of things. And I'm seeing that more and more, especially in Yelp. And that's why I read the bad reviews first. Then I go to the good reviews and see how the food is. Right?
But are you basing your decision on the reviews, whether to go to that restaurant or not? Because when you're...
Sorry, I will go to that restaurant if the food is good, the service is good. If the review says, again, like for example, the fork issue, it does not go into the factor why I should or should not go to that restaurant.
Let me give you an example. So let's take a pizza place, for example.
Mhm.
You know, I was over in an area there the other day in the GTA, and I was looking at just for a pizza place to go into. And I was looking for something a little different. You know, it didn't feel like the pizza, it didn't feel like so forth and so on. And I was looking at reviews. But here's the thing, when you look at a pizza place review, the people will say things like, oh, it was great pizza, you know, it was kind of like I make it home or something like that. And I find that all people's pizza reviews are the same. Like they don't compare it. Like if you're going to give a true review of food, you want to give context to the review that you're given, right? So you want to say, okay, this is sort of like a pizza. It's a little more greasy, but it's better. It's less greasy than Pizza Hut, or give some context to the review other than saying it was a great pizza. So to me, that gives me no information that I'm going to be able to base anything on, right? Let me give you another example. I had steak the other day, and actually it was a suggestion from you, Leonard, to go to this place and have a steak. And it was a decently priced steak and so forth, and it was a wonderful experience and so forth. But when I read the reviews of the place online, it didn't really give me any context of why is it a good steak place? It's a steak place. Is it better than the Keg? Is it better than you know, a steak from Montana's? You know, why is that? And I think that's the part where you lose me in looking at online reviews, because professional people who actually do reviews for a living give context to what they're saying and usually give very specific details, whereas the average individual person just gives it a yay or nay kind of thing.
I
That's
agree.
right. And I agree with you. Like, I mean, for me, anyone tells me, like, if I saw a review about food, like, okay, and if they said that the food was not bad, but you know what? Everyone's palate is different. I can go to the same pizza place that you've gone to, and you guys may not have liked the pizza, but I go there and I would have just loved the pizza just because I love the way um it tastes, right? And or what it does for me. Um Again, like reviews are it's it's a personal opinion. And because if I'm gonna not go to a restaurant because of somebody's personal view about it, I might be losing out on something, on great food, right? Um, so yeah, taking everybody's review, you know, like you were saying, yeah, there is Derek was saying there's no context. But if a food critic was to write up a review and it gives you more in depth as to what the food was, what was wrong with it, what was good with it. Um, and at least I get a sense of how it will be with my palate and if I'm going to enjoy the same food or not.
Okay.
Right. So.
How about this question for you guys? Actually, here's the last time I left a review in Yelp, it was actually in a hotel, and the experience I had was pretty awesome. The hotel itself was really great. The restaurant is really good. I left a review saying that, hey, overall experience was amazing. The staff is great. The food is great. The hotel room is great. The only thing that I'm want to let everyone know that the bathroom was a little grimy because there was a little stain. So I left a message to say, hey, the hotel's great, but just keep an eye on this.
Yeah, but was that fair? Was that fair?
Oh yeah, it was very fair. Yeah.
No, well, what I mean
here's
is,
the thing, though.
maybe it was just that room, that bathroom in that hotel.
Exactly.
Maybe it was just that particular room. So
I still gave a great review, right?
I know,
but I did get a message back from the hotel. It's like, hey, thanks for letting us know. I'm fixing it now. Then I replied back, yes, thank you very much for acknowledging my review. I recommented back, yes, the hotel fixed the issue right away. I'm still gonna keep the score of 4.5 out of 5.
Okay, but
right?
when did you do the review and when did they respond to you about when did you tell them about when did you tell them about the issue?
I'm sorry?
When did they find out about the issue? After you wrote the review?
After I wrote the review.
Okay.
Why didn't you tell them?
Why didn't you tell them?
I did.
But you said they responded to your
I let them know. Then after I left the review, they replied back in Yelp. Then I acknowledged that they did fix the issue right away. Like when after like they reply back like a day after I checked out in
Okay,
Yelp.
we're kind of off topic in regards
Yeah.
to like,
But I'm just saying that
restaurants, but
the
again,
restaurant.
here's my next question. I guess your point is that you're making a specific detailed criticism of the place to give context to what was wrong with it, which I agree, that's a great context, but it actually, I think, does a disservice to the hotel because that was a singular room. And I think if you provided greater context, you'd say, okay, well, I wouldn't think because everything else about this hotel was so great that it was a one-off versus the standard, right? Because some other people would take that as the standard, right?
Yeah.
Well, the hotel itself is a 5-star hotel in Europe, so
No, I know, but the way your context was, it's like, okay, everything was great except for this one thing, and you guys should keep an eye on it because they had a grime, like a small stain in their bathroom. Okay, so if this is something that I have to keep out for, so what? I have to keep checking their bathrooms now. Everybody's going to keep checking their bathrooms to see if there's a small stain. But what was the small stain? Like,
no,
I mean,
what's the small
the
stain?
purpose of my review was just to let people know that, hey, this is the review that I gave. They acknowledged it. They fixed the issue, right? And to be honest with you, I did check the Yelp review before I did my own review. Everyone's giving it a great review. I gave it a great review, but at the end of the day, the hotel did try to fix the issue.
What I'm trying to find out is when did you tell them about the small stain?
I told them I think the fourth day that I noticed it there. I thought they were gonna clean it during the.
So it took you 4 days to notice it, or like?
No, they were doing a room clean like normally do, right?
Uh-huh.
And they did clean it, but it keeps coming back over and over again. So it's an ongoing issues that I did report it.
Wait, grime came back within like a day?
Yeah, you should see it. It actually stained the towels.
That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not sure. Like,
Yeah, it. I think I saw photos. I'll show it to you guys. It's pretty weird.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just saying is that okay.
But
so you didn't report it on the first day.
I reported. I did mention it to the housekeeper on the first day.
But you didn't. How about okay? That's the housekeeper. But when did you inform management of this?
A few days later. I was there for like 6 days.
Okay, and then so after after a few days, you tell management, and then did they fix it right away, or did it need time to get fixed?
I think they sent a cleaner the next day, tried to clean it.
But you said it came back.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? They didn't clean it properly, or?
To it. I don't know, but they said they fixed it. So when I left, so. But either way, go back to this topic.
Okay,
hey, you got us off. That was all you.
Okay. Did you? Well, Mark, you don't leave reviews. Derek, you do. Right?
No,
you do leave.
No, I don't. And it's not. That's not fair. I have left a review. It was actually for a bed and breakfast place I went to, and the reason I left the review, and personally, I don't leave reviews for a couple reasons because I don't know how much value people are going to get out of the information. Number two, as Margaret said, my palate is different than his. So especially for restaurants, I don't leave reviews. I left one for this hotel because I felt that the experience that I had was wonderful. And I wanted people to know that experience was wonderful. And it was a small mom and pop place, bed and breakfast. And I thought, hey, I can help them get the word out there and so forth. But in general, no, I don't leave reviews.
Well, I mean, with bed and breakfasts and small bed and breakfasts like that, if I've gone to one that gave me the service was great and I enjoyed my stay there, sure, I might really put a review up. But again, restaurants, no.
Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting. I really thought you guys would leave reviews.
No, you know what? Honestly, it's like, again, I could put up whatever, but again, I look at it as the same thing as me. I don't take whatever somebody else says at face value. I want to experience it myself, and then guess what? If I go there and the food wasn't the greatest, and for example, you or Derek asked me, Mark, have you ever been to this restaurant? I can say, yeah, I didn't enjoy the food. But go ahead and try it out because I don't know what you guys like. Right?
Okay. So, yeah, well, that sucks. This topic just went down the hill.
I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that as my tip for the week, Leonard. And this is to help
Okay.
you out. This is my tip for the week. Never ask a question you're not willing to hear the answer to.
No. No, to be honest, because you guys eat a lot. Well, you guys eat a lot, and you have very good comments on it. So I presume I was hoping you guys do leave, because I've talked to some people who do leave comments in online reviews. They said that, yeah, this is great because I'm helping my other foodies or travelers say this is the reviews that I got, or this is what experience I got. They also got backlash from the restaurants or even the hotels or to their Airbnb they stayed at, regarding how dare you leave these comments? You have no right. There actually some articles or some stories that came out on the internet that they got harassed. People who leave comments sometimes get harassed by the patrons, by the owners.
Here's the thing, and leaving a comment, right? Leaving a comment or a review is also very risky.
Yes.
One, you do get that, like, you get the backlash of the actual property itself or the restaurant itself. And then you could get sued as well. There was I believe it's a story in Vancouver where a photographer, like a photo studio, lost their business because of one woman's scathing remarks and reviews about their staff, that they lost all their clients and they lost the reviews. They actually sued this person because her remarks became too what's that word? The defamation. Defamation. Yeah. It was like it really ruined their business. And after what the courts read and everything like that, they sided with the business, and this person had to pay them back a large sum amount of money for loss of business, because of her review. And some people have gone out and really put out scathing reviews about establishments and businesses that may not be warranted, and it can cause a company and a place of business to lose their livelihood. So that's one of the reasons, and that's one of, I think, also is the back of my head about leaving reviews. I don't want to leave a review, and then next thing you know, I'm getting a knock at the door, getting subpoenaed. Well, why did you leave this review? It's defamation of their business, and I don't want to go through that.
Well, the other point is that when you're thinking about this, is that probably part of the reason that she was sued also was that when people leave these reviews, they're generally, they walk out of the restaurant, they're like, oh, that was a terrible experience, and they go on and they leave 2 sentences or a sentence or whatever on the restaurant without putting care and thought into what they're saying. They're angry, they're upset, they're emotional, and they leave this bad review without considering the context of what happened, giving reasons for it. They'll simply say, oh, worst experience ever. Why? Give me the context, right? And, so as you said, that people put themselves into that situation. I think from a business perspective, also, it's a business,
Yeah.
No business wants to have bad PR. And if you as a person are going on there without just cause, and when I say just cause, I mean that if you say worst experience ever and you don't give context from a business perspective, I would say that that's an unfair comment, right? Yeah. If you have a specific complaint to raise and a specific context to raise, great. But I would make the argument that most people that go on Google or whatever and leave a review do not do that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair to say. Okay, so I think that's all we have. We did 54 minutes. So that's actually the shortest video we have so far.
Yeah, well, this comes up to, do we have enough time for Tech of the Week?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Do you have one?
No, but I need your advice. And whoever is watching this, I want a new cell phone.
Oh, okay. Heads up, I just got my
No apples.
Apple iPhone
talk
10 is
about
arriving on the mail tomorrow this week. So
No apples.
well, the next the new Google phone is actually pretty good. The new one, I can't remember. It's the second version. My friend has it and he
the
loves it.
Pixel 2 XL.
Yeah, he really likes it.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like I have an S7, Samsung S7. So, and it's 2 years old now, and I am been looking to getting a new phone. Again, I'm a Samsung guy and I'm an Android guy, so yes, I prefer the S9. Reason why I prefer the S9, I still have my headphone jack, and I can still use an external memory card.
I just went through this a few months ago, man. I just went through this like a month and a half ago. I got the S9 Plus. I think the S9 Plus might be a lot if you're not really into taking pictures. Like if it's not your main focus, just stick with the S9. I did get the S9 Plus. I'm really happy with the phone. And I think, I had the S7 too. So, when I went, but, I did do a lot of looking around, and I think that from a quality of the phone, firstly, we're not going to talk about Apple.
No, go. Yeah, please, no.
It's very low. It does
we're
not
talking
explode.
That's also something we don't talk about. If you're just looking for a day-to-day phone, I'm not as big of a fan because I find what a lot of other of the cell phone companies do are gimmicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of gimmick phones are out there. And when I went around and looking about a month and a half ago, it's not that long ago, I didn't find any other phones that really spoke to me that did the functionality. And also, as stupid as this is to say, and I know you agree, is the headphone jack is a big deal.
Yes, it is.
Yes, actually, surprisingly, you guys said that.
Actually, a leaning part of the reason that I stayed with the S9 was because of the headphone jack.
And that's why they kept it. And they know that a lot of users want that headphone jack. And you know what? And
sorry, Mark, I just need to stop you there because Apple was not the first one to remove their headphone jack. You know that, right?
He's so far down that Kool-Aid.
LG started it first.
So much, I can't even go on.
And guess what? Google phone got rid of theirs as well. And
I
now
know.
Everyone's making fun of Apple because they have that stupid lip thing that they have, that little tongue that they have on top of the phone for the 10. Guess what? Everyone has it now too.
What lip are you talking about?
Remember the top of the 10? They have that little sort of a notch for the earpiece and the camera. They made fun of Apple because of that. Now everyone's having it now.
Not Samsung.
Nope. So my advice, if you want to go for the new phone, go with the S9. I'm happy with the phone. I think that, of course, it has all the functionality that, the S7 had plus more. I like the screen a lot more, but the one thing that I really enjoy most about it is the dual speaker. It really does make a difference.
Oh, it has dual. And that's the thing, because, it does have the dual speaker. It still has the headphone jack. And like I said, the S9, and like with most Samsung phones, except for the S6, you're able to expand its memory.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and
I do that.
I do that.
Yeah. And I know that the Google phone has, you have unlimited, Google Cloud, and you have 128 gigs of RAM. But when you're on a plane or when you're not connected, to be able to grab the movies or whatever you have on it, you want that space. And then, you can have a 128 gig phone, but with me, with the amount of movies, like if I go on a long drive, a 5-hour drive, I got to make sure my phone is covered with movies, just because if the little one wants to watch something, here you go. You watch it. You keep
I'm
watching.
I'm totally on your side on this. I'm totally in complete agreement. I'm with Mark 100% on this. Yeah.
So I agree with you. The only thing that I miss, because I had the Samsung Galaxy 7 to test it out, because I really want to expand my horizon.
No, you do.
After less than 3 months, I went back to Apple. But I do miss the expansion part of that phone itself. It's actually, to be honest with you, I never, since I had the iPhone, that's the biggest gripe I had. It's just the storage, right? Yeah. And when I moved to Samsung and I had that expansion micro SD card, I was like happy. I popped in a 64 gigs in it. I was like dumping everything there. But when I moved back to Apple, I had to go to straight to a 64, and it was cost like twice as much.
Yep.
Right. So
Well, think about it.
I do miss that. I really do miss that.
I could get the smallest. Okay, I think on the S7, the smallest was 16 gigs, I believe, but I have the 32 gig phone. So I have a 32 gig phone. I throw in a 64 gig, SD card that cost me what? How much? $30?
Yeah. Yeah,
Pop
exactly.
I could add as many apps as I want, and everything else is saved to my SD card. Like I could even put Netflix on my SD card right now and download all the movies and shows that I want onto my SD card and not worry about my actual phone losing memory.
Oh, I agree.
So I think it is the S9 then. Like, I mean, I was really leaning towards trying out a Google, the Google Pixel 2.
You are going to get a better Google experience.
It is going to be a better Google experience. But again, the fact that if I'm not connected online and I want to be able to watch my movie that's stored on the cloud and not on my phone, right? I'm also using up data that way too, that I have to bring it back down onto my phone.
I have like a 64 gigabyte on my phone. And I have probably two different TV series plus several different movies easily, plus all my pictures. Like that, you would take days to watch all that if you were to do it. So, that's just so much more convenient. All I have to do is keep my phone powered. That's it.
That's it. And guess what? I'm able to install a lot of apps on this phone without even having to rooting it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
I rarely use apps. Like I only have a handful of apps that I use all the time. So I minimize that a lot.
Why do you have a cell phone then?
Yeah.
If I don't need a smartphone for my day to day, I'm willing to go back to like a brick phone. Seriously.
You know what? That's right. You know what? If
I need this smartphone.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the fact that I could do my banking and my emails and everything off my phone, I'd probably just have a regular phone, just a regular.
There's one point in my life, like last year, I'm willing to go back to a pager. That's how dumbed down I'm my technology I want to be.
Hey, if you want, I got a couple in my drawer still.
So you got my tip of the week. You got his. Do you have anything lettered, or do you want to close it off there?
Surprisingly, for me today, I have none. But well, actually, I do. My tip of the week is stand by for our official live broadcast. This broadcast, if you guys are watching on Twitch, is just a test run to see how everything works, and if it does archive to YouTube. If it doesn't, well, we're back to stage one again. So, but it's gonna be more interesting. Next 2 weeks, topic hint for all of you guys as well on the panel. We're gonna be talking about Elon Musk and his issue with the journalists.
Oh,
so that's our main topic for next week.
Analyst?
Trust me, it's all journalists. I've been following the story for 2 weeks now, and I decided to postpone it until next week because I want to get more information to send to you guys. But it's going to be a good topic for next week, so definitely join us for that one.
Wow, okay.
If the stream is good, we're going to stream this next week, so stand by for that one. So, but yeah, that's all I have. If no one.
If that's all that you have, by the way, today is just a standard coffee mug for me with juice in it. So
yes, we didn't go that far. Sorry, I forgot about that. Derek and I said something. Apparently, you didn't. So tip of the week.
Wait, did you say something about your mug? I didn't hear. I don't remember.
I didn't hear nothing about his mug. I heard about your mug.
Sorry. Okay, it's a blue mug.
Wait, you guys have matching mugs
with coffee stains already.
No. That's not matching.
No, I meant blue eyes. Okay, yeah.
Color blue. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining. Definitely subscribe us on YouTube, subscribe us on Twitch. Also, we are in popular podcast distribution like iTunes and Google Play. Just search the Coffee Shop Studios. Just search for that one. You'll get us from there.
Oh, wait. Sorry, guys. Just before we end, oops. We weren't even looking at our chat here, but Michelle 289 did respond to us in our chat.
Oh, Leonard, you missed it.
You missed
Dude,
it.
my computer is like way far.
Dude, you're supposed
I
to
was hoping
moderate.
You're
You're
the moderator here. Come on.
And she would bring a phone on her weekend trip. And Harry Potter escape room sounds pretty neat. So, well, to Michelle 289, hi back. And
Thank you
thanks
for your comments.
Thank you for your comments.
So next week, you know what? Screw it. Doesn't matter if we're having technical issues. We are gonna live stream this next week. So everyone logs in. I'll send you guys a link so you guys can chat with everyone else. So let people know in your social networks that we are live streaming this next week at 10 o'clock sharp. So heads up, people. So yeah, I think that's all I have. Anything else?
No.
That's everything.
No,
I'm just,
Okay, then.
wait, hold on. I'm just replying back to Michelle here and apologizing for our moderator.
Hey, I can't be the everyone here. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Much appreciate. We'll see you guys next week, and see you guys later.
See you later, man. Bye.
Bye, guys.